Hello everyone, I am Biplab from IIT Guwahati. Welcome to the course on Systems Biology. Experiments in cell and molecular biology are tedious and time consuming. Traditionally, we have used small scale experiments with one gene at a time approach. However, the landscape of experimental biology started changing in the late 1980s. Between 89 and 91, several high-throughput methods were developed. Yeast-2 hybrid system was invented for high-throughput protein-protein interaction studies. DNA samples were arrayed on the membrane and glass slide. Then in 1994, Affymetrix launched GeneChip. Officially, we entered the age of microarray technology. In 2000, the first rough draft of the human genome was published, starting the era of genomics. With high-throughput techniques came the need to store, analyze, and make meaning out of large and diverse data sets. But many realized that we need to look beyond data and have to find the generalized principles in biology. Biologists started talking of data integration, networks, systems theory, dynamical systems. In fact, in 1999, the first dedicated institute of systems biology was announced. Biologists started collaborating with physicists, mathematicians, engineers, and computer scientists to understand the dynamics and properties of biological circuits and networks. And systems biology graduated to an academic area. There is no specific definition of systems biology etched on a stone. Many confuse systems biology with high-throughput biology and integrative biology. We will rather follow the paper by Professor Kitano, where he defined 4 broad goals of systems biology. These goals are the identification of system structure, understanding the dynamics and control in the system, and looking for generalized design principles in biological systems. Components involved in biological systems and their interactions define the system structure. High-throughput experiments and the data from multiple sources could be used to understand the architecture of the system. In our discussion, we will focus on the rest of the goals of systems biology: dynamics, control, and design principles. Let's take an example to understand these aspects. There are many types of molecular clocks in biology. For example, many organisms, including us, have a circadian clock. In systems biology, we will not dig into the list of molecules that are part of the circadian clock in a particular organism. Rather, we will ask a generalized question: what makes a clock? Think over it. Any clock inside your body or on your wrist has 3 generic properties. A machine to work as a clock must have a robust periodic oscillator. A mechanical watch, for example, has gears with spring to generate periodic oscillation. And there is no absolute clock. All clocks are relative to another clock. So if we are designing a clock, we should be able to synchronize it to an existing clock. For circadian clock, the other clock is the cycle of day and night. Creating just an oscillator will not help you to make a clock. It must be connected to some sort of output. In your wristwatch, the output is the movement of hands on the dial. Once we have decided the 3 generic characteristics of a clock, we can now ask specific questions. For example, we can ask what type of molecular network can generate robust and periodic oscillation. Here comes the role of mathematics in systems biology. Using mathematical analysis, we can show that to have a periodic oscillation, there must be a negative feedback with time delay. Once we have these theoretical understandings, we can go to the lab to experimentally find out the molecules in a particular biological clock that satisfy the dynamical properties and the design principles. Following the goals of systems biology, our course has 3 broad topics. First, we will learn to create and analyze dynamical models using differential equations. This is a deterministic approach. As many biological processes are stochastic, our second topic is the analysis of stochastic processes. In the end, we will learn how to analyze very large biological networks using the concepts of graph theory. I hope that after going through this course, you will be able to appreciate systems biology and will get inspired to learn the advanced topics. So, happy learning!